Hi, friends. Have you ever been at a negotiation table and all of a sudden you get to that point where you feel like it's falling apart in your hands and you can't figure out what it is and a deal doesn't get done? What do? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning and you're going, oh my God, I'm either going to lose a piece of existing business or I'm going to lose a potential deal that could change my company. It could make us so much stronger. So don't freak out, first of all, okay? Just stop and ask yourself if you could rank the top three blockers for the deal to go through, what would they be and how does that translate into dollars? Okay? Because at the end of the day, when I used to have a boss who used to say, Pat, you can tell me all day long about what value is or what you're going to do and how you deliver quality and all the rest of it. But when you get to the bottom of it all, there's always a dollar figure. And I want you to remember that. Now, does it have to be dollars all the time? The answer is no. But sometimes it is. And the other thing is when you look at these blockers, always ask yourself, what risk implications are there that I can take away? Because this is really important. When people start to get uneasy about a deal, it's because they're feeling exposed. All right. So you got to take that exposure away. So take the negative risk away and replace it with positive risk. Okay. And then finally, it's about the futures of the deal. Like sometimes people will kind of go, like, why am I doing this deal if it's kind of a one or a doneer? And what I really want is more of a progressive deal that looks out and cements our partnership and makes me feel really comfortable going back and selling this deal internally. You could be the buyer or the seller and be in this position. So those are some factors that I want you to think about, all right? It's really important that you think it through. Sometimes it's quality, right? Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it's deliverables. Sometimes it's political. Yes, politics can enter a deal, and you've got to figure that out. Like when I was working in the newspaper business, we had to negotiate between the local buyers of department stores and the head office buyers. And then you had regional vice presidents, and they all had a say in the thing. So that's when it becomes political, and that's when you got to figure it out, right? And you got to figure out, well, who in this triangle, who in this deal is really the person who's holding it back? And ask the hard questions, but ask them gently. Important deals to your company. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how it changes the landscape. It can change the momentum of a market. I mean, I've helped a couple of newspapers just totally turn their world around based on getting the right kinds of deals in place at the bottom, actually small deals, and then you build up into mid-sized deals and then larger deals. And it's all based on momentum. It's all based on taking blockers away. It's all based on proofing up in the marketplace. I know this is a lot to think about, but it's important because when you're stuck there at 2 o'clock in the morning, you say to yourself, what is holding this deal back? And can I drop it down into a dollar figure? Remember that. It's important, all right? Because I tell you, you get stuck at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're about to jump on a plane. You don't have a deal to go home with. You have to be able to at least explain to your people on the other end what you figure happened and what your next steps might be, okay? Pro tips on blockers.